Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.
What is your name?
My name is Sunita Devi.
And what is your relationship to Arun? How do you know?
Nephew बोलेंगे भतीजे हो ना?
Nephew.
I'm her nephew.
Nephew.
She's my aunt.
She's your father's sister.
Yes.
Father's is 57. About 57.
Okay.
58 तो आ गया.
Was your marriage pre-arranged?
Yes, yeah, arranged marriage. Arranged.
Who found who? Did your parents or his parents find the right person?
His parents, not my parents.
अच्छा?
His parents.
His parents.
Found you or found your parents?
Yes.
Which one? Do they look for her or look for her parents?
They know that her parents had a daughter. So they found her and her parents.
Her parents.
Did his parents, were they familiar with her parents for some time? Okay, we switched to a lantern because the electricity went out, so it's like a little campfire here. Did you meet or see a picture of your husband before you were married?
No.
So you saw him for the first time on your wedding day?
Yes.
Were you, wow, that concept is very different in America. Were you worried about what he would look like or how he would treat you or any thoughts about that?
नहीं लेकिन हम इस माइथोलॉजी मतलब हिंदूस की अकॉर्डिंग जो है ना हम जब वो बड़े ने रिश्ता किया है तो उसमें हम बिलीव करते हैं मतलब.
So she believes that she had two reasons to feel confident about the choice, because one was because the match was made by one of the elders. A relative. So
she trusted.
She and almost everybody over here puts a lot of trust into older people in making wiser decisions. And secondly, she believes that in Hindu mythology, the matches are made literally in heaven. And it's pre-selected. It's kind of in your destiny. So she felt confident about that.
Wow.
But on top of that, her family, our family, did research for 6 months on the groom before the marriage to make sure everything was okay. And she was actually considering another proposal who was an engineer from a different boy. But it all came together according to the stars or whatever. And the guy who was being considered for the proposal.
She was a hot tamale.
So, yes, she was, because she was educated. The other guy had an accident, a motorcycle accident, and he could not show up for a long time where they expected his family
next year आया वो उतने में मेरी शादी हो गई थी फिर
him
आया
to
ना
show up with
if you snooze you lose
proposal, and so they switched to the second choice. But they did do a lot of research to make sure that he didn't अरे बीच में ना बोला करो ना
there we go.
He didn't smoke or drink, or he spoke very little, and he was a genius. He had a bachelor's in science in those days.
And what is your aunt's education?
Which was rare. आपकी education क्या है?
मतलब उस टाइम में तो मेरी वो थी ना
नहीं
अभी MA B.Ed.
She has a bachelor's in education and master's in arts.
Is her education unusual for the village or unusual for a woman? Her level of education?
आपका जो education का level है वो यहाँ के लिए मतलब normal है कि नहीं आप exceptional
है मतलब उस टाइम में जो है ना exceptional ही होते थे कि जो example था
So no, it was not normal at all. She was the first woman
in village
to be educated, so highly educated
area
in the
मतलब अपने
village,
जो
in
है
the whole area, and for any woman for that matter. So she was a pioneer in education.
That's wonderful. Congratulations. Were you told what you had to study?
आपको किसी ने बताया कि क्या आपको पढ़ना है कि आपकी अपनी चॉइस थी?
खुद की मैंने
No,
मतलब
she chose what she wanted to study and herself, and she had the desire to study in the first place by herself because she was inspired by a relative of hers, ours, who was a teacher before her.
Does she currently have a career in her field?
तो आप उसी फील्ड में आपका करियर जो अभी है उसी फील्ड में काम कर रहे हो आप? Yes, and it was always her goal to improve herself by being educated and to learn as much as possible, and that's what she always wanted in her life, and that's what she wanted in her children's
How
life.
many children do you have?
two children,
Two sons.
two sons.
Will you pre-arrange marriage for them?
Yes,
उनकी arrange
marriage. We want arrange marriage, but no restriction. कि भाई मैं उनकी अगर वो they have choice, I मतलब मैं विश्व मतलब वो नहीं कि भाई
she would like to arrange the marriage, but she is completely open and she would accept if they choose to get married on their own, and she has no preference in the sense if they do choose to get married on their own, that whatever they choose would be acceptable to her. She would not discriminate based on any criteria whatsoever.
Were you afraid before you got married that there would be something about your husband that you didn't like?
तो आपकी शादी से पहले आपने सोचा था कि आपको प्रॉब्लम होगी या कैसा होगा मैरिज के बाद, या आप उनको लाइक करोगे?
मैं हार्ड वर्कर मतलब मैं आई वांट्स टू कि इफ आई मतलब आई डू हार्ड वर्क, आई वांट्स फ्रॉम हिम कि वो भी हार्ड वर्क करे, है ना? कि मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि वो थोड़ा लेजी हो या इस तरह से हो, तो वो मुझे मतलब उतने वो मुझे पसंद नहीं है.
She believed that she, with her personality and hard work, she would be, if there was some incompatibility, she felt confident that she would be able to change him. Or that
the thought of every woman.
Or that she would adapt if that
और चेंज भी किया है कई आदतें तो
wasn't possible. Feels that over this time, all these years of being married, she was able. There were a lot of things she did manage to change in him for better functioning of them as a couple and family.
Since you have two sons, do you have the expectation that their brides will come live with you in your house and basically cook and clean for you and have babies that you'll raise?
आपके दो बेटे हैं ना, तो आपकी एक्सपेक्टेशन है कि जो आपकी बहू होंगी दोनों
वो मेरी सेवा करेंगी,
तो their families are able to provide for
better education
themselves and give better education to her grandchildren. But she does, and she wants to work for herself and make sure she lives by herself and be able to do everything for herself and her husband as much as possible. But she does expect their families, their sons, and daughter-in-laws to help them if they are sick or if they can't care for them. She does not expect them to come live with them, will live with her and cook or clean for her. However, and she's happy. Uh, both her sons having their own family, living
वो अपने वर्क
wherever they want
करे
to
और
live.
अपनी जिम्मेवारी समझे अपना
But
जो ड्यूटी
if-
है अपने
and
फैमिली
she-
के प्रति
and-
वो पूरी करे बस
And
मुझे
she
कुछ
would
नहीं
like
वो नहीं है
to,
हाँ
and
वो बोलेगा मैं वही बहुत
and
होते
she
हैं
would
How
like
does a
to.
bride learn how to be a wife? From her husband, from her family, or from friends?
वो लोग जब आपकी शादी होती है ना तो यहाँ पे औरतें जो है उनको कैसे पता चलता है कि मतलब जो औरत और मर्द का फैमिली लाइफ शुरू करने का एजुकेशन कहाँ से मिलती है जो बर्ड्स एंड फैमिली से नहीं
फैमिली से नहीं नहीं नो
Okay, not from the family, very rarely from the friends. Well, she's talking about her time
Yes,
and her life.
her experience.
So,
books.
mainly through books, and because the culture is closed in that sense, and it's very hard to talk about these things and be open about it, even among your friends, and never with your family.
You have a son that recently traveled to the United Kingdom. What do you think about that?
आपके क्या विचार है उसके बारे में
She wants to make sure that her son, for whatever reason he went over there, whatever purpose, he fulfills that purpose, and that's her wish mainly. And she told him 3 things as guidelines to live over there: to do not eat meat,
meat
do not drink
drink or
alcohol, and stay away from
relationship
women.
from ladies
But if he does want to get married and if he does fall in love, that's okay.
मतलब openly
Has he traveled to the UK, or is he living there permanently?
He
Is
went
he a
there
tourist
to
or-
study
for a year
I see.
to do
MBA
his
management
master's,
courses
to do his MBA.
Oh.
MBA
What religion are you?
आपका रिलीजन कौन सा है
religion Hindu but I मतलब मैं किसी religion से वो भी नहीं करती है हिंदुइज्म के लिए पर
She was born a Hindu,
हम्म,
but she feels that she has
no
no
uh,
preference really towards any religion, and she believes that the only thing that matters is people have consideration for other people's feelings. But because she was born as a Hindu, she does have a slight bit of bias towards her own learning from Hinduism.
How do you think Arun's family accepts or perceives him being with an American woman?
बोलो आप
okay.
हमारे हम हमारा जो कनेक्शन है ना
हाँ,
तो उसके बारे में क्या
हाँ,
Well, she's saying
कि
that
baby
she
वो तो
just
है।
wants us to be happy, and she feels that the connection we have is divine, and there is a connection not only between us but between you and her and everybody,
everybody
and which was destined to be across lifetimes and not just in this life. So there has been, this connection was made in many lifetimes even before this. We were talking about the importance of learning English and why people over here prefer to learn English. She feels that world is a very small place, and she would prefer to be able to communicate with as many people as possible and connect with as many people as possible, and she feels that life is very short and it doesn't serve to fight and waste our time fighting each other when we should be connecting and communicating and connecting with everybody around the
I
world.
need to say that this whole interview took place because I was not feeling well after dinner. I retired to lie down in the bedroom, and Haroon's aunt and Nana, grandmother, and Haroon all came into the bed to sit in bed with me, just to be with me and talk. I think it's interesting that there are 10 bedrooms in this house, and your aunt and your grandmom choose to sleep together in the same bed.
Like mother and daughter. They are mother and daughter. So, and no matter how old you are, to a mother, she's always like a little child. And so you're never too old to not sleep with your mom.